Hey guys, welcome to the channel. This is Dimitri's Travel and Tips, where I, Dimitri, can help you travel the world on $1,000 a month or less. Most of the time, it's $500. Now, normally I'm out and about running around somewhere in Asia or something, eating an octopus head or something crazy. But I have some exciting news. I have left Asia and I'm back at my home. Well, my parents' home anyway, for the next few months before I get on to my next adventure, going from Tijuana down to the end of the world, Tierra del Fuego, and seeing all the countries, well, most of the countries in between for the next 2 years. Now, it's going to be an exciting trip, and many of you might be wondering, Dimitri, are you rich or something? Like, do your parents pay for it? Like, how are you doing this? How are you traveling around like this? How do you make money? And that brings us to today's topic. I'm going to be talking about my 3 favorite ESL companies, or English as a Second Language companies. These are basically companies that you can apply for and work remotely from your computer. As long as you've got some decent internet, you know, it doesn't have to be incredible, just nothing terrible. I'm not going to be the first one to tell you that all of these different companies are not created equally. I'm going to be ranking them from best to worst, and I'm going to tell you who they're really best suited for and all the ins and outs and stuff. So let's start off with the easiest one and most available to anyone, which is Cambly. Now, Cambly is pretty great. I found them when I was in lockdown in South Korea during COVID, and I was bored out of my mind. I figured out I could get this job where I could talk to people and teach English instead of being bored, and so that's what I did. And it was pretty great. Now, this is not really such a professional application. You're gonna be doing things like chit-chatting, you know, asking people about their hobbies, their jobs, their life, maybe doing some mock tests and mock interview practice, things like this. This is what I normally do. And you can talk to people from all over the world, from China to Mexico to Brazil and Dubai and Saudi Arabia, sometimes even Europeans call. You know, it's not gonna make you rich at the salary of $10.80 per hour. And it's not even really that much because you're only paid for what time you're teaching, which usually ends up being more like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 45 minutes. So you're making pretty low wages, but it is an easy, fun job that you can qualify for as long as you speak English and you have a pulse. This is pretty much for fun, for college kids, people traveling in cheap countries, someone who's just bored. So I'm gonna actually rank this number 2 out of my 1 to 3 list. Now let's move on to the next one, and that would be Preply or Preply, depending on how you want to say it. Now, I'm gonna come out and just say it. Preply is my least favorite option. I know some people that really enjoy it, but let's talk about it. Now, with Cambly, the pay is fixed. With Preply, it's set by yourself. Now, this may seem good at first, however, depending on how many hours you've taught on the platform, the company will actually take like 35 or 40% from the pay that you make, all the way down to, I think, like 10% or something. So if you work for $20 an hour, which you have to have a lot of experience and reviews for, then they're gonna take, like, in the beginning, like 8 of those dollars from you. Plus, you're gonna lose more money in taxes later at the end of the year. So it's pretty bad with that, unless you set your pay very high. And while some people do that, I have very little success charging anything more than $20. The troubles continue. The students, they get free trials. And now normally, like on Cambly or other platforms, free trials are free for the students, but you get paid as a teacher. Not on here. On here, you're working for free. So I had 1 month where I taught 20 trial lessons, and that's 20 hours of my life. And I didn't get paid because you don't get paid until the second lesson. So it's a pretty broken system that I'm guessing just profits the company of Preply. This is my least favorite company. I made very little money with them, and I recommend people kind of avoid this company, to be honest. So I'm placing this down at the bottom of my ranking. Now we're on to the final company, and actually the sponsor of today's video, Lingo Ace. Now, I just started working for Lingo Ace a couple months ago, 2-3 months ago, yeah. They're a Chinese company. They have some of the highest pay in the industry, where you can make over $20 an hour if you work enough hours. I myself am making $18 to $22 an hour working on the platform. The base pay is $7 per 25-minute session. So after every session, you get 5 minutes break, even if they're back to back. This is another really nice thing about Lingo Ace. Now on top of that, that takes you to, okay, you have 2 classes, 50 minutes, you make $14. If it's a trial class and the student decides to join, you get an extra $5 for that class. And if it's 2 classes, that's 10 extra bucks for the hour. That's not even getting into other incentives and bonuses for people who work a certain number of hours. Your base pay gets increased by a certain amount, anywhere from 20 cents per class all the way to $3 extra per class, and other things like that. They change a lot, but the point is you can make a decent salary. Who are you teaching? Well, you're teaching Chinese kids. You know, they can be little kids as young as 4 or 5 years old, and they can be as old as, I think, maybe 17 or 18, something like that. And basically, they set up everything for you. They set up the classes. They have little prompts to tell you what to do, what kind of questions to ask, what things you should say. Now, it can be difficult because some of these kids don't know English. They just don't know any English, or they know just a few words. Now, oftentimes there are parents who do speak English who can help the kids figure it out. Or what I do, I also take the Google Translate and just translate something and type it into the picture so the students can read and understand what I'm asking. This can be pretty tedious, and sometimes even that doesn't work. But, you know, at least on this platform, you're getting a higher challenge, but you're also getting much, much, much higher pay than mostly anywhere else in the online teaching industry. So, you know, you're working, but you're making money for it. Your efforts are well rewarded. You can work as much or as little as you want. There's no minimum, there's no maximum. It just depends on you, and of course, the schedule of the kids who live in China. So if you live in the West, then that means working in the mornings and the nights, and your afternoons are totally free. So if you're a traveler like myself, this is perfect. You can get up in the morning, have a little breakfast, teach, go off on your adventure somewhere, and then in the evening come back, take a nap, and get down to teaching again. Now, this is my favorite company, and it's not because they sponsored the video, but because actually they are allowing me to gain the freedom to travel the world even more freely than before because I finally can make some sustainable income. So thank you, Lingo Ace. You really saved my dreams. Now, if you're not a professional teacher, maybe you don't want to work here because it will be a little difficult for you to adjust. But if you've taught in Asia, like most ESL teachers have, then I think you'll be able to figure it out after 2 or 3 weeks of practice. So again, guys, my ranking was at the bottom, Preply, number 2, Cambly, and the top is Lingo Ace. Now, if you want to sign up for Cambly or for Lingo Ace, I'm going to leave some links down in the description below. If you sign up, you're going to get a bonus. I'm going to get a bonus. Everybody wins. So I hope you click on that, sign up, and yeah, if you're a English learner, I really hope you go to check out Lingo Ace. Or if you're not in China, then maybe you would need to sign up for Cambly. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for sticking around and watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.